Let me ask you something. Have you ever played black against e4 and felt like white gets all the fun? They attack fast, they grab space, they throw pieces forward, and suddenly you are sitting there wondering what exactly you are supposed to do. That's how a lot of players feel, and that's exactly why I like the Caro-Kann. People think it's just some boring defensive opening, but that's not really true. The Caro-Kann is more like this. You stay calm, let white show their ideas, build your position move by move, and then when the moment is right, you hit back. Strong players love it because you are not relying on traps or hoping your opponent blunders. You are building a position that slowly gets stronger. So let's get into the board and I'll show you exactly what I mean. White starts with e4 and black responds with c6. Now, if you are new to the Caro-Kann, this move may look strange. You may think, why not just play e5 immediately? Why not fight right now? But c6 has a hidden purpose. Black wants to prepare d5 and challenge white's center in a controlled way. This is the first lesson of the Caro-Kann: patience. Caro-Kann players are not rushing, they are building. White continues with d4 and black responds with d5. Now we challenge the center immediately. White develops with knight to c3. At this moment, many newer players will feel pressure as black. White has space, white looks active, white controls the center, but Caro-Kann players stay calm. Black simply plays d takes on e4. White recaptures with knight takes on e4. And now comes one of the most important moves in the entire opening, bishop to f5. Pause the board for a second and really look at this move. This move is incredibly important because in many openings, black struggles with the light squared bishop. Sometimes it gets trapped behind pawns and becomes passive for half the game. But in the Caro-Kann, black solves the problem immediately. The bishop comes out before black locks the structure with e6. That small detail changes everything. White now usually attacks with knight to g3. The knight attacks our bishop. Many beginners panic here and move the bishop randomly, but black simply responds with bishop to g6. Nice and simple. No panic, no fear. The bishop remains active. Now, white becomes aggressive and pushes h4. This is where many black players start worrying because white has a clear idea. White wants h5. White wants to chase the bishop. White wants attacking chances. But here is where understanding becomes more important than memorization. Black calmly plays h6. That move may not look exciting, but look at what black is saying. I see your attack. I understand your idea. Now show me more. White usually continues with h5 and black calmly plays bishop to h7. Now pause because this is where many players misunderstand the position completely. Beginners often think black is losing time. They think the bishop is trapped. They think white has won the opening. But black is actually fine. This teaches a huge lesson in chess. Sometimes moving backward is not weakness. Sometimes retreating is a part of a bigger plan. While white spent multiple moves pushing pawns at attacking the bishop, black is preparing development and future counterplay. White develops with knight to f3 and black responds with knight to d7. Another move beginners often dislike. They ask, why not attack immediately? Why not launch tactics? Because the Caro-Kann rewards patience. Knight to d7 supports future plans. The knight supports f6, supports e5 ideas later, and helps black prepare center play. White develops bishop to d3, trying to create a kingside pressure. Black responds with bishop takes on d3, and then white recaptures with queen takes on d3, and black finally plays e6. Now stop and look at black's position carefully. Black has a solid structure. Pieces are coming out naturally. No weaknesses exist. The king will become safe soon. Meanwhile, white pushed pawns aggressively and spent time attacking. And here is the hidden secret many people miss. When players attack early and gain space, they often create targets. This is where black slowly starts becoming dangerous. White develops bishop to d2, and black continues with knight g to f6. Up until now, black was mostly defending and developing, but now the story changes. This is where people in comments say, where is the attack? So, let me show you. Black now wants queen to c7. Black wants to castle kingside. And most importantly, black wants the c5 break. That move is one of the most important ideas in the entire opening because suddenly black attacks white's center. Suddenly black's pieces become active and suddenly white starts defending. That is why strong players love the Caro-Kann. You absorb pressure first and attack second. Imagine white castles queenside. Pause and think for a moment. Who is actually safer? White pushed the h pawn, white attacked early, white expanded aggressively. Meanwhile, black developed calmly, and suddenly white's king becomes the target. That is the beauty of the Caro-Kann. People think it is just defense, but it is not only defense. It is controlled defense that transforms into counter-attack. Now, let me quickly give you three beginner mistakes. Mistake number 1, moving the bishop randomly after knight to g3. Stay calm and trust the structure. Mistake number 2, trying to attack before finishing development. Complete your setup first. Mistake number 3, forgetting the c5 break. That move often brings black's position to life. And if you remember only 3 ideas from this entire video, you remember this forever. Bring the bishop outside before e6, do not fear h4 and h5, and defend patiently before attacking. Because this opening is not about gambling, it is not about cheap traps, it is about slowly building pressure and making your opponent overextend. Try this opening in your games and tell me how many e4 players become frustrated trying to crack your position. If this video helped you, subscribe right now. Every week we are building your full repertoire here, white and black. Drop your rating in the comments and tell me if you are adding the Caro-Kann to your game. I read every single comment. Rui Lopez, London System and King's Indian Attack, all already on the channel. Links in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.